So this afternoon while I'm farm sitting, I'm going to go across the road from the house here. There's lots of dead standing trees and brush. I'm going to do a little bit of fire smarting and get myself some firewood and leave her some firewood as well. I didn't bring my saw because I knew there were saws here. So I have my saws of choice. Here's a nice Husky 372. It's the full falling saw. It's got the wrap, handle, the double dogs. It's a lot of saw, this thing. But you know what? These trees that are over there aren't very big, and I've been lugging around big heavy ass saws for years and years and years. So I think I'll just go a little farm tough here and get this still MS250. I think I'll use this today. I can wield it around with one hand as if it was a pair of scissors. And that's nice and relaxing. One thing I really dislike about the stills is these moving parts on the fuel and oil cap. I mean, it's cool when it's working. But I also had it where I was out 60 kilometers from a road working for Parks and had this little piece in here break, and then I had a saw I couldn't use for the next 3 days I was out in the bush. Huskies and my Echo doesn't have that. It's just a simple twist. You stick your bar wrench in and go. I always overfill my Echo, but when you do that with these still caps, then they don't fit in properly, and then you get oil all over your hands and it sucks. But I like overfilling my Echo because then a bunch of the oil comes down on the bar and on the chain, and it just gives you a little bit of extra start. You're lubricated right off the go. I'm also not a huge fan of this ignition, the two different kinds of choke and all that. Whether you're a Still fan, a Husky fan, or an Echo fan, you know, they're all good saws. So it's just your preference and the things that irk you and don't irk you. Still, if I had my big Echo here, I'd still be using this still today because it's nice and small, and it's got plenty of power for the trees I'm going through. So it is fire smarting season, and this is the right time to be looking at the forest, because if you got a bunch of brush that you cut down, you can set it on fire just as easily, and it won't spread around, and everything's cold and wet still in the ground here in the Cariboo. A big one is look at small trees that are in clusters, and you can just tell that one of them's doing really well. Kill the other ones off if they're all right in this cluster, right? So just let the one that's going to do well, and get rid of those other guys. Give them more space. 6 feet. I like to go even up to 8 feet. So you're going around, you're limbing off trees on your property, and you make it nice and open, so when all the trees are limbed up 6 to 8 feet, you can look right through your forest and see just about anything. So some of the people whose properties are fire smarted, who are members of this group, one of the things they liked about the job was right away the animals were starting to use the forest more, going into it and taking shade and shelter in the summertime because it wasn't so brushy and poking their eyes out. Getting rid of dead fuel that's in the way, hey, cut it down, bring it home, burn it. I mean, none of these trees that are here are very large, but good enough for firewood, right? Those, you know, at this time of year, you don't need to be burning big, awesome pieces of wood anyways. So if you're just getting some wood for right now, or, you know, sometimes I get wood like this and I burn it in the fall. And once January comes, then I get to my nice, big, real deep winter firewood. Let's cut some trees down. So I'm gonna start with the one that's already fallen over and hung up. Get that danger guy out of the way, and then I'll start following everything right where he goes. So there you have it, a fall that went wrong. How many trees have I fallen in my life? Oh, fucking 10,000 maybe, right? How many bad falls? Maybe 30 or 40 or 50. They happen. So let's analyze my mistake that happened here. And it was a key one. I know exactly what I did wrong. This saw that I'm using, this big Husky, is actually a little more powerful than the one, than my Echo that I use. I admit, it's more powerful. So when I took a little zip, as I usually do, with the wedge in, it ended up taking a little bit too much off the one end, and that's what broke the holding wood. The holding wood was like, instead of this nice square holding wood the way it should be, it had a bit of a arc like that. And just that small little arc and just the heaviness of the branches, that was enough to send it to... What I do like to do is have one earplug out so that when I hear that subtle crack, I already know. And keep looking up always, right? So I knew what to do. I got the saw out of the way and rolled out, and that's why you make an area that's you can have a little bit of escape play in, because sometimes that's going to happen, even if you're really good. I had a relative there, John Haveman in Kakabeka Falls, Ontario. 25 years of faller, ran his own tree, Haveman Brothers tree planting company. And one day he had a fall go wrong, and that was the end of him, and he left 7 children. So even when you're really, really good, you're gonna have falls that mess up. So part of me doesn't want to show this on my YouTube channel because I have so many good falls, but I think just for the hell of talking safety, because I do a lot of things my own way, it's good to show you all just how dangerous that could have been. I mean, I didn't really panic much. I was more pissed off that it didn't go over the hill the way I wanted, because now I got to toss all these rounders down. Oh well, the price of trying. As you can see, it's nice and flat on the top. I had a real nice angle cut there. It's almost, I bet you could put the level on it, it'd almost be flat. And my holding wood, I had a good distance in. I did the downward cut instead of the upward cut, and even then you can see where it broke off, where the mistake happened on an otherwise pretty good series of cuts.